Hi everyone, in today's video we are going to go over viewports and and scales. And so in this viewport, this is a viewport for a project here. And as you can see, viewports don't have to be nice rectangles. So as we talked about, viewports are essentially the windows to your model space. So this is in model space, as you can see. We're here in model space, and then the viewport allows you to make a window in paper space through to your model space. So I'm going to unlock this display so I could zoom in, zoom out, like if I had maybe binoculars or something through my window. I could pan through, move around wherever I wanted it to go. And so that's where I can essentially make my viewport. And so normally and also with viewports, as you can see here, I can take the RO command, RO for rotate, and I can also rotate if I so wanted, and then realign everything. But typically, I find it best is to always leave north as up, so your north arrow is going up. There's a few cases that we do turn it to try and maximize the sheets, but it's ideal if your viewports go north, and then if all your viewports, we try and have all the viewports be the same scale and the same north arrow direction as possible. So if we wanted to change the viewport, just like changing a polyline, I can grab the vertex with just a left click, and I can open it up. I can drag it wherever I need to. I can make it into an arc, convert it back to a line. Let's say I wanted to get rid of this vertex. I could remove that vertex. I can add a vertex. And one of the key secrets is we have this on a viewport layer, which is non-plot. So when we look at it, you don't actually see a black line around it. If you had it, for us, plottable, you'd see a black line that goes around. So this kind of just provides a clean look. Let's say I wanted to get rid of these legends right here. You know, if I want to show all the tennis court, I could. And then I'm going to show you over here. One of the important things, if I have my scale set, and I want to go in, make sure that after I have everything set up, I'm going to hit display lock. It's right here in the properties, display lock. So what display lock allows is when you double click, so double left click into your viewport. Now you can see it's highlighted. Now I'm in model space right now. With it locked, I can zoom in, zoom out, and pan around, and I'm not affecting the viewport at all. So this is really helpful if I needed to, let's say I'm in paper space and I need to just quickly find something that I don't like. I double click, left clicked into it. Now I can move whatever I need to move. And then now I zoom back out, and then outside of the viewport, I double left click, and now I'm back to normal. But if I do my display isn't locked, watch this. As soon as I go in and then I zoom, I didn't zoom in paper space to look. I'm zooming my scale. Same thing with panning. Now I'm messing up my viewport. So I always typically, once I have everything set up, I like to lock them. So this is a fairly basic viewport. The only advanced thing about this is that this is a polygon instead of just a straight square. And then let's see what else. We're going to go here to Rancho Vista Park. And so this project has 3 viewports. So here, even though it's a square, it's made up of a polyline, so it's editable. And then, because these are 3 separate different sheets, is we have these things called match lines. So this tells you here, here, and here are the edges of the project, and there's nothing to match to go to. But if you look here, it says match line C sheet L202. So you can see this is L201, so L202 is going to be the next page, and we're going to see where the irrigation continues on. The rest of this is a park. So the match line is not in the center of your drawing. It's always at the side of the drawing where you're picking up from your next viewport. So over here, you can see now we were on sheet L201. You can see now that I've gone to the next sheet, this is L2.02, that if I wanted to see that, I would go back to the first page. Now we're on L sheet 202. And now if we wanted to see the rest of it, now it turns and sees sheet 2.03. So this is L2.02. Now we're going to go to L2.03. And then here we are back to, this is the beginning of the project. So you can see if we wanted to go back and see the other sheet that we were just at, I said to see L202. So you can see basically this project as a whole was broken up into 3 viewports: viewport 1, viewport 2, and viewport 3. That's also why a lot of projects, this one doesn't have one, is they'll have a key map. And that key map will be an overall of the project, and then you'll have a little map of the colored in area of that sheet, of what sheet you're on. So going back here, I think I am going to go. So this is just a plain sheet setup, so nothing's in here at all. So this is the viewport, and actually I know what I was going to say. So one thing in here is the north arrow, because we were pointing north, and then the scale. So this says that 1 inch equals 10 feet right here. If I was to change this, 1 inch equals 20 feet. If I did a big exhibit, 1 inch equals 60 feet. But I could go really fine detail, and 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So typically, most jobs are 1 to 20, 1 to 10, sometimes like 1/8 scale. That's like a small residence. But a lot of these projects are 1 to 20. So common scales. So you want to stick to a good scale, common scales, because that's what is most used. You don't want to do like 1 to 25. That's not going to match a scale that they would actually have a physical scale to take the dimensions in the field off of. So if I ever wanted to then know, what this is, how I see the scale is right now I'm going to draw a 1-inch line. So you can see here, this is 1 inch. So then when I go, the length right here says 1 inch. Now I'm going to come through here and I'm going to change space. So if you can't find the logo, it's for change space is CH space. So CHSPACE. So I had it selected. When I only have one viewport, it automatically pushes it through. And now you can see that 1 inch, that 1 inch item, now when I pushed it through, it scaled it to keep it looking the same, is now 10 feet in model space. So this plan wasn't 1 to 20. This plan is 1 to 10. So you can do that with any drawing. So if I ever have questions, I can always find out. Here is, draw it exactly 1 inch polyline. Again, so you see 1 inch, and then change space to push it through, and you will see what the scale is. Another thing that we also do, so all of our blocks here, we want everything to be, no matter what scale, so for like irrigation, is we want this block to always look the same when it's plotted. Whether we don't need the symbol to be really big or really small. We want it to be the same dimension no matter how big or large they make these plans. So one of the things that we do, it's called dim scale. You can see right here, the dim scale of the drawing is 120, and that's because when I have this set to 1 and I change space here, now it's the same size, but in model space, it's 120. Now, you can see, if I come here, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna zoom this in. Let's say it's a really tight scale. And now I'm going to put in the same, I'm going to have it show 1 here. But now, because I'm really zoomed in, if I change the space, it's no longer 1 to 20. Now it's 1 is now 47. So you can see how it changes the scale of the object, even though it looks the same. And then here's another key thing. If you ever need to rotate your viewports, what I do is I put my north arrow in, push it through, and then I'm going to rotate my viewport. Now you can see the north arrow changed in relation to my rotation. Then I click it and I bring it back through, and now you know that north, instead of being up, is now north is in this direction. Cool little tip. Okay, in the next video I'm going to show you how to actually set up viewport scales.